Alright, we're going to do a tutorial for Memory Lane by Elliott. And I'm going to be smoking. I'm going to be drinking while this is going on. I hope that's okay. You know? But I'm going to teach you how to play it right, at least. So, you know, there's that. Alright, so, first of all, my guitar's usually 2 down. Probably like a half step or so. I got my capo on the 5th fret. So like if you play an E chord, that's how it's gonna sound, right? So like get in tune, do an E shape, because it's like if you play like a open, like, it just sounds all fucking stupid, but you know, so make an E shape chord, you know, which is 2nd fret, A in the D string, these 2 fingers, middle, and then the index on the 1st fret of the G string. If you want to be in the same key as me, you know, because this is lower than the actual song, but this is just from where I'm at. It's just a better way to teach it, you know. Anyways, okay, so get there if you want to do that. So first of all, index finger, 3rd fret, A string, 2nd from the top, and then 5th fret. And okay, so first of all, pretend this doesn't exist. All right, this is the start, you know, this is the first fret, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, you know what I mean? So like, let's do it like that. None of this exists anymore. All right, it doesn't matter. We're starting like this is the end of the guitar right here. Anyway, so 3rd fret, A string, index finger. 5th fret, D string, middle finger. Skip a string, go to the B string, put your ring finger on the 5th fret. So like so far we have, and then big stretch, right? It's not a beginner song, I guess, right? Big stretch to the 8th fret from here on the E string, high E string. So then we have, which is like, that's super weird looking and awkward, right? You know, but it's how you gotta do. It's what you gotta do. And it gets easier when you keep playing it, and it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? So, and I'll just do like a quick playthrough, really quick, just so you can see it. You know. Alright, that's the beginning part. Right? But that's like the hardest part of the song, so don't be like, oh my god, what is happening? You know? It's like the hardest part of the song, really. You know what I mean? And it's just Travis picking and, you know, using these 3 fingers throughout. So, anyways, alright, to start. So get back into that formation, right? 3, 5, skip a string, 5, 8. Alright? And then you pluck these 2 at the same time. The A string and the E string. And then it's just like, and throughout this whole process, it's just like with the thumb, you know what I mean? So it's, so pluck those 2. And then it hits the B string with the middle finger. And then slide pinky down to the 6th fret. Same thing. And this is the trickiest transition, I guess, probably, in the whole song, really, at least in my opinion. And then you have to do a quick switch to this formation, which is keep you don't have to move your index finger, but you do have to move your ring finger where your middle finger was on that 5th fret, right? And then move that middle finger down to the 4th fret of the B string, like that. And the pinky finger needs to slide down from that 6th fret from that previous chord to the 5th fret. So it's, but you see that it's the same picking pattern throughout, right? So it's, shit. So what we have so far is, but it keeps the same picking pattern throughout. And then pick up the middle finger and slide down both fingers, both your index, or your ring and pinky. From this chord, pick up the middle finger, it's not happening anymore, and then just slide those two down. And then you have it's like a C chord, but your pinky's on the 3rd fret too. I forget what that's called. And keep in mind, like the whole time, I'm using that middle finger for the B string, right? Pretty much throughout, you know? So the ring finger is for that high E, middle finger is for the B string, and just the thumb goes in between the bass notes, you know. Alright, so we've gotten there this far. It's already 7 minutes. God, I gotta hurry up. Is this bad? Am I doing bad? I don't know what. Alright, and so we've gotten to that. In C chord, if you're not accustomed to the guitar, I guess, 3rd fret, A, 2nd fret, B string, skip a string, 1st fret, B string, and then 3rd fret, ring finger, or pinky on the high E. And then you just slide all of your fingers down and pick up the index finger, and it's not used anymore. So it goes, right? Funny chord. And then it goes to this chord, which is kind of a cool chord, just a beautiful chord altogether. Isn't that pretty? And that is 3rd fret, A and D with ring and pinky, and then you skip the G string, and on the B string you put your index finger, the 2nd from the bottom. That's the B string, sorry. So it's Alright, so that's how far we've gotten so far. So what we've learned so far is and then, to get to the next part, which is the hardest part of the whole song, actually. That's not even the hardest part. Shit! Let me take a sip. Alright, so that's what you gotta do. So you get to that chord, that pretty chord that I was talking about just a minute ago, and then you just pick up the pinky. Boom, boom, boom. And that's like, and then so your ring finger, boom, and then middle. Right, like that. Can you see what I'm doing? here we go. And so on this part, you want to put your pinky on the 4th fret of the B string, and already have your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, because you're gonna have to pick up your pinky and get to that after this note, you know, which is, so you hit open on the A string, but you pluck those two together with your thumb and index finger. Pinky's still hitting that E string, right? Yeah. So, and pick that pinky up. Well, I think you actually have to do that too. At least that's how he might do it. Like, I just do that. I keep that Travis picking going along with it the whole time, kind of, you know. Shit. You see how my thumb just keeps going back and forth between those bass notes, except it switches what bass notes are used. So it's trying to slow this down, sorry. So yeah, A, 4th fret, and then keep that there like I told you. So keep that Travis picking kind of thing going, you know. And then middle finger comes down on the G string on the 2nd fret. Back and forth on the thumb. And so, okay, so it doesn't, sorry, that last one was not there. It goes to a G with the ring finger on the G. And then you're going to have to do the pinky over here. It's really kind of awkward chord formations. Remember, ring finger on that E string. That's when it switches. So at first it's going, you know, the A to the D, A to the D, and then it goes the E string to the D. You know? And that slides down. Middle finger. F chord formation, which is 3, 3, 2, 1, without, you know, doing an actual F. And then it goes to a C. And then that, and then it starts over, you know, after that. Just starts over again. Dun, 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 you know. But that thumb just keeps going back and forth, right? You know? So it's just like, it's really quite complicated. It's a tough song to teach, to be honest. I'm trying to do my best. Just if you're getting confused, just watch my fingers. I'm trying to do it as slow as possible. I know I could probably be doing a better job, but I'm not really used to this, to be honest. And I like to use my ring finger on that So we've gotten past that part. The rest of the song is really easy, or easier maybe. Besides this video is too long. So anyways, we've gone E minor, I guess, I think, which is 2 and 2 with the middle fingers on the 2nd fret, A and the D string, F, and then you do the, if you want to do it like really accurately, you can do these like walk up bass notes that he does. So it's like a boom boom, and that's like a cool thing. So that's like an E minor chord, and then an F, and then it's like a walk up, and then you put your ring finger on the 3rd fret to make like a, I don't know what that is exactly, you know, and then pick it all up. So you're kind of just like borrowing that, and then you go to a C. Right? And then it goes to this chord. I don't know what this is actually, but it's 1, 2, 3. It's on the 5th fret, and it's like one of those chords where it's just like finger, 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 you know? So it's like a, and that's all. That's like index finger on the A string of the 5th fret, and ring finger 6th fret D string, middle finger 5th fret B string, or I'm sorry, G string, and then pinky on the 6th fret of the B string. So, like, you know. Right? And then it goes to like that E 7th or something like that, you know? Slides down, which is like, you know, like a E chord, except you put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. You know? You know? And just like try to keep in mind my strumming pattern. You know, it's just kind of just listen to the song and just kind of be like, it's really not that difficult. It's just very boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just kind of like, you know, feel it a little bit, you know. So anyways, we've gotten that. And then it's just A minor, and pick that ring finger up to make like a G/A minor, I guess, or something. Back to the F. I guess that might be what it is with the, but it's a G, like maybe a G7. Back to the F, and then a C formation. I'm trying to speed the video up. It's already 18 minutes long, or 19. C. Whatever the hell that is, A minor, you know. And then it's like, say, you know that you hear me the way I'm strumming, and then it gets to so it's like a D. It's some kind of a D minor of some sort, I think, which is basically middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And then you're barring the bottom 2 strings on the 1st fret with your index finger. And then you put your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the E string, and it slides up. Shit. Which, you know, so it's like, it's still the same formation, except it slides up 2 frets. And then you just pick that pinky up and then slide it back to that 1st formation. you pick them all up, put your pinky down to make a G7 chord. Alright? It's just really fast, you know? And it can be kind of tricky because of that. So yeah. And that's kind of a weird, I do it in a kind of a certain way just because of the way that I feel the song or whatever, but it's like a... And it's just like, you can kind of do it however, but it's like... But so it's like a slide up 2 frets with both fingers. Just keep your index or your ring finger aligned with the pinky, you know. So 5, 7, and then 8, and then you got to put your pinky down on the 5th fret of the B string. And then slide back down to that, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess? Yeah. And then this is kind of a weird, awkward chord formation. So yeah, 8 on the ring and the outer strings. And then 5 on the index finger on the B string, and then slide down 2 frets, and then you got to replace your index finger with your middle finger on that 5th fret in the same spot on the B string, but then move your index finger up 2 strings to the 5th fret of the D string, so it gives that chord, and then you just slide the whole thing down. Slide it again, and then it's a G7 chord, except you got to put your index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then slide that down, pick up the index finger, and then F chord. So it's, you know, right? I'm just trying to get through this. I feel like I'm taking too long. So, you know. Boom, boom, boom. And then it's back to, you know. And it starts over, you know, same thing. Alright, and then there's a bridge in there after that, like, everybody's scared of this place, staying away. Shit. Everybody's scared of this place, staying away. A little house on memory lane. And it goes to A minor. If it's your decision. That's a cool chord. So A minor to this. And there's 2 different ways you could do it technically. You could put your thumb on the 4th fret and then do like a D chord formation, except on the D, G, B strings, you know. But what I like to do is I use my ring finger on the 4th fret of the low E, and then index finger 3rd fret of the D string, ring finger 4th fret of the G string, and then middle finger 3rd fret of the B string. So it's like a that's what I mean, like it's like a D chord formation, except right there. But you have to do it with the pinky the way I like to do it. So my ring finger can be here. But you can do it the D chord formation. That's what I was saying. There's 2 different ways to do it. You can put your thumb right there if you're comfortable using your thumb. So you can go, or you can go, you know what I'm saying? And so like that, and then that chord, and then it's just like it's like that a G/C chord. It's like a C, except you move your ring finger up and put your pinky on the A instead. So it's like a. Get your decision to be open about yourself, and this chord is and that's another way. You can do it 2 different ways. You can put your thumb on the 2nd fret with your index and your ring on the 2nd and 3rd of the G and the B, or the way I like to do it, just because it's more comfortable, I guess, or more fluid, I guess, or something. The middle finger 2nd fret of the low E, ring finger 2nd fret of the G, and then pinky on the 3rd fret of the B. So G, and then you pick up that middle finger. Be careful around, you know? Then it starts over doing all that. It's all written on my chart that I'll take what's given me most cooperatively. You know, stuff like that. And then at the very end, this is the last thing you need to know. It's like, you know, but everybody's scared of this place, they're staying away. On memory lane, and it does that same thing earlier. That it's like, and that pick up that from in a ring finger from that A minor formation and just put it on the G, and then this is the ending, and this is important actually. So it's like this is the way you have to play it. 2nd fret, middle finger, E string. Second fret, ring finger, G string. 1st fret, B string, index finger. It goes back to that Travis picking pattern, and the middle finger on the B string and the ring finger for the high E string, and the index finger is reserved for the G string. Okay. Index finger, G string. And then this is a weird position, but it's like you keep those fingers right there, right? And you slide, use your, this is important, index finger, because you have to pick up on the pinky, index finger on the low E string. Like that's the chord, but you have to pick up your middle finger, you have to pick up the pinky and put your middle finger on the 1st fret of the B string in order to do this. E and the B string plucked together, ring finger for that high E, and just going back and forth between the low E and the, that D string is always that other note, even if the dominant note might change between the low E and the A string or something. Index finger on that G, like I was saying, that's just reserved for that one. There, so like that's that weird formation, and that middle, and that pinky comes off, And then these are in that. It's middle finger, third, second fret, G string, first fret, index on B. At the same time, that with your index and thumb. Shoot. And it goes to a C chord. And then, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I'm really trying to spell this out, but it's difficult. It's a tough song, you know what I mean? That's always a nice thing, too, is like a lot of people use their thumb to strum it out or whatever, but it's a nice flourish with the index finger, because it gives a certain ring to it with the nail, You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be soft, you gotta be gentle about it, just work on your technique, I guess, kind of a thing. I hope this video is helpful. If there's anything you don't understand that I've said, just message me. I'll try to, maybe send you a personal video or something like that if I can. And I hope this helps, so have a good one.